I am Groot.
It's been good. The really nice thing about this show is that it's been tried and tested, right? So Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, they know the look, they know the vibe, they know what they're going for. It was just wonderful working with them to be able to just, bring it all to life how they've envisaged it over many years. So the process of us getting involved was very smooth. It was a nice project to work on.
We had a really lovely client on the Marvel side as well. The team was really close-knit. You could tell they've worked with each other before, and it just made everything really easy for us. The transition was really nice from the previous show to this one. So we did 147 shots we brought to final. A few more that we obviously worked up but then didn't make the final cut. It's always the nature of the beast.
So we had a couple of sequences. Some of it involved, which we absolutely loved, was the new Groot, quite stocky.
Just discovered the gym.
That's right, sure, he's pretty big now. So that was one of the key things. Now, this is a shared asset with other vendors.
It was so new to what we definitely in Rise London had done. It was just great to be able to see some of our CG artists especially, who usually, they have their department, lighting for example, and they're going down that avenue and it's more strict. Being able to branch out and do more look dev stuff, people have been asking, can I have shots like this? And we were able to, fulfill that for them in this project, which was really nice to see people, broadening their skill sets.
Yeah. Whenever you hear a shared asset, it doesn't mean that you just bring it in and start working with it. You've got to have a real kick-ass team to implement that, to rig that character, because each facility have their own sort of rigging setups, which is bespoke to them. However, the way the character moves, the weight he has, that's something that you just can't share. You've just got to eyeball it and match with that. So there's a lot of checking references and doing rounds and sharing with the clients and talking things through. So it's the most challenging but the most rewarding at the same time. We've seen that he's now stockier and bigger. That means that he's got a lot more presence about him on set. We've got a standing guy called Austin who plays Groot on set, and he's not as stocky as that. So they've done a very good job on set of making sure there's enough space around him. But still, his weight compared to Groot's weight is different, especially because the limbs aren't going to be as fluid either, being made out of wood. It was all about just trying to get the right references, to get the weight in because he's so big. So that was a really nice one. It was set inside a building, which is also like a spaceship, I believe, is kind of it. And the asset we were using was the arete. So this is a part set extension of topping up the interior from set, which is like this red cubed inner sanctum for this bad guy High Evo. So on set, they have those cubes up to probably about 20 feet, maybe a little bit less than that. And then we need to extend that up. And then thanks to the fantastic CG team we have, it's taken that and then running with it and sort of making a few changes to make it work for the shots that we have. I think what surprised me was how simple it looks, but how complex it is. Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like I've done so many set extensions and top-ups of environments, 2D and 3D. This is all heavy in 3D. And they always have their own sort of unique natural things which work and what doesn't work until you put the time in. So they took a bit of time to really sort of sit in there because they're quite reflective, and I think they even have like a little bit of subsurface scattering going on because there's a couple of layers of metal and perspex and whatever futuristic materials they may have. So we had that, and that's looking inwards towards his inner sanctum, and then outwards we're then looking out into Counter Earth. That was also a shared asset that we needed to bring to life. Add in moving vehicles, reflective qualities into buildings.
We had a little bit of the beauty work, like Stu says, of the main bad guy in the
High Evo.
High Evo, yeah. That featured in that arete. A bit of dust debris, that sort of stuff.
Some minor explosions.
Effects, a little bit of that, yeah.
We did do those sequences as well as once they're up in space on this ship, the three characters, Drax, Mantis, and Nebula. So Nebula, we have a little bit of, like any show, with prosthetics and makeup. During the day, all these lights, they start sort of having a knock-on effect on the makeup. So you need to do a few little touch-ups here or there. She also had an arm replacement. Then they have their eyes, contacts. Sometimes they'll wear the contacts, sometimes they won't. I'm sure they just need a break sometimes for their own health reasons. So all 3 characters had eye work that needed doing, as well as Mantis with the antenna, which was a very cool thing to work on, which featured, of course, in every shot she was in. Every day we get together as a whole team with all the artists, editors, pipeline, IT and all that, and we talk through the show, we talk through the shots, we get the morning going, we get the energy going. And sometimes that could be hard. You're working quite hard on these shows, and I think it's important to do these little meetings in the morning. But then just seeing people come in with their Marvel t-shirts on, doing these weekly games where you're giving away like Marvel gifts if they get like this picture quiz right, to keep the energy going. I think what I loved about it the most was working with the team, seeing people do things they haven't done before, getting excited by doing these things. That's what I love the most about this show, funnily enough, and that could be said for any show. I think Rise is fantastic for that. The team that you work with, that they allow you to sort of develop and continue working with is fantastic. They've not just done their 9 to 5, 9 to 6. They put their heart and soul into it. They're creative. They give it something more than what you're asking. And there's a lot going into this answer, but it's a wonderful thing at the end of a show to see what everyone's put into it, and to be thankful for it. I
think, yeah, that is a full answer, but without all of those elements that you've just listed, you couldn't get that end result.
Mm-hmm. You just take what I've just said and then sort of round it up as yours. All right, nice. That sounds like production right there. You're pretty good at this.